To go live. There we go. We got it.
Got it. Great.
Yo, what's up? This is Splendid Radio on Far Side TV with my co-host Jeremy Scipio.
What's going on, people?
And special guest, actor, comedian, actor, Rasheed Stevens. Is it Steffens or Stevens?
Stevens. What's up,
Stevens.
people?
Okay, that's right. It's what it's one of those names.
Yeah. It's spelled Steffens, but it's pronounced Stevens.
Yeah.
Okay.
My slave masters were creative, man.
Nah, that's tight. That's tight. Well, nah, man. It's a pleasure having you on. Basically, I bring a little bit of hip hop to it. Jeremy brings a little comedy. I'm funny sometime, and Jeremy is hip hop, probably a whole lot more than I'm funny. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So no, I appreciate you tapping in. Where were you the first time you heard hip hop, and what was the song?
First time and that's a very great question. I know the first song I really kind of got attached to was LL Cool J, I Need Love.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had I was about 7 years old. I got the cassette tape. And I started listening to that on replay. I kept rewinding it because I had this crush on this girl.
I was at the
I'm gonna rap this to her.
Yeah,
Hopeless romantic Rasheed. That's funny.
Yeah, very hopeless romantic.
Yeah, man. You ain't been romantic if you ain't recycled some lyrics, man, and try to put it down and see if you can body snatch a mind. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't have anybody to give me that originality, man. Ain't no lovers in my family. I grew up with all men, so man, I was emotionally numb. I looked to LL Cool J to teach me how to talk to women.
That's funny.
Hey, I'll tell you something funny about LL Cool J. Rest in peace, my cousin Sean. He passed away. He was like my older cousin. He's only older by like a year or two or whatever. And when hip hop was coming out and everything, and he lived in Carson. He wasn't like a hip hopper, but he knew about LL Cool J. And then I don't know why I asked him, but I was like, what does Earl do? And he was like, man, Earl rolls the weed. You know
That's funny.
A designated weed roller.
Yeah, I guess that was.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg got one of those. But
Rick Ross do too, don't he?
Probably. I mean, that's a job that come with a W-2 or something at this point.
Yeah, you probably do.
Yeah. The next question is, what's your favorite movie?
It has to be one, or can it?
It can be whatever you want, bro.
I got two favorite movies: Glory and Wedding Crashers, which is polar opposites.
Yeah.
Cover
all your bases, I see. Because Glory, man, that's tight.
That tear, that got me when I was a kid, man. Saying there's not getting beat on the back, but that tear was powerful, man. And Wedding Crashers was just like a movie I got introduced to in college. So I'm like, shit. I actually started wedding crashing out here in LA. Swear to God. So that movie inspired me a lot.
Who'd you crash with?
Well, let me not say that, but my then girlfriend. We used to we used to go to a lot of different weddings together and stuff. And then once I started learning the circle, learning how they work, I started doing it by myself. I took my boy Ralph to one time. We had a good time. Good time. Free drinks, free food, dancing. Right.
Anybody ever get funny?
Huh?
Anybody ever get funny with you guys? Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, not really, because man, people most of the time we didn't go to. I would catch the tail end of the wedding, but the reception was where it got lit at. But people right there, they liquored up by that time, so everybody just hugs and smiles, and especially when we went to this Indian wedding. I actually got pictures of that on Facebook. But man, we was doing an electric slide at an Indian wedding, dog. Swear to God, they had a good ass time.
That's
taught them how to do the electric slide.
So
people are innately good, I think.
That's good. That's good. Because, I was going to say, our people, Black people love anybody, man. We do, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially, we'll be a little hard at the beginning part, but shoot, man. Now, come on over here, baby. Give me a hug. You know what I'm saying? Going to make you a plate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We're the most forgiving people on the planet, man.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the facts. You know what I'm saying? Historically, that's fact.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that hip hop would be as large as it is?
I actually, to be honest, no, because I grew up with my twin brother and I had an older sister, so she controlled the radio. So we would always listen to like R&B stuff. So back when I was a kid in the '90s, R&B was the king I mean, especially grew up in a black community. So and rappers were always featured on a R&B song. So I think I kind of remember when it first started to take over, when a lot of R&B singers started to switch to pop, and then they would start kind of rapping and stuff too. I'm like, oh shit, rap is becoming big.
I'll tell you two things based off of what you just said. One, I first started kind of traveling to Europe around maybe like 97 or so, like 90.
Europe.
Yeah.
Fancy.
No, no, but the trip thing about it was we spent a lot of time in Amsterdam, and they had this TV station that was similar to MTV, but it wasn't MTV or whatever, but they would play videos and the new music. And the first American artist to like really I would say the forerunners of doing dance music, Usher and Beyonce. And they would do these they got into, like, they were really, and the funny thing about it, they weren't really publicizing it in the States. But see, out there, everybody didn't have, like, in the mid to late 90s, everyone didn't have like direct TV or all the, the cable stations and all that. So you just had a couple stations in Europe, and a lot of it at that time, a lot of it wasn't English. It was like in whatever local country you were or whatever. But so for us, or I won't say us, I'll say for me, I would just keep it on the music stations. And so a lot of Beyonce, a lot of Usher, and then you had the Chris Browns and the other guys later on that kind of got onto the dance music, which was crazy because it like helped the American artists kind of transition over into the European markets more than they were. And then two, on the hip hop thing, people really don't give this guy the flowers that he deserves for it. They give him flowers for like being a great performer, but Busta Rhymes was really the first rapper to really tap into those corporate dollars. And when he did his Sprite partnership, like, I want to say they gave him like, they might have gave him like $1 million budget to direct the commercial where it was him and Spliff Star, and they were like sliding on the ground and all kinds of stuff. And just going into that, like, that's when I knew that hip hop, even though I was kind of working with it a little bit, but that's when I knew it was a thing, when I saw those corporate dollars reach in. And it wasn't like corporate dollars in terms of, okay, we're throwing a Fresh Fest concert or something like that. They were actually taking a rapper and giving him like a huge soda sponsorship and letting him direct videos and all that kind of stuff, which, him being the forerunner of that, you saw the Puffies come after that. Not that Puffy didn't have his hand in stuff, but I'm talking about really hip hop in this corporate world kind of merging together to do some stuff. So anyway, that's a little trivia on it.
When did you first gravitate to comedy?
I always used to get in trouble for being like the class clown. So that was always me. I was always on jokes and stuff. And I mean, for me, that kept me from fighting too, though. I mean, even though I did get in a lot of fights, I used to roast, or we call it Jonah and stuff. But when I started doing, you mean stand up? I think once I stopped playing, I was playing college football, and when that came to a halt and became very depressed, I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do? But I remember my coach told me, he said, if you don't ever make it to the NFL, you could be a stand-up comic. And it kind of always just stuck in the back of my mind, because I used to always, like, if we drove like an hour away to play a team, I would literally roast the whole bus the whole time. So that was always me. So when I hung up my cleats, and I kind of wallowed in that kind of like sadness for a while, I said, you know what? let me try to tap into this comedy thing because my girlfriend at that time, I'm always got a girlfriend at that time. She took me to a comedy show in Atlanta at Uptown Comedy Club for my 21st birthday.
Okay.
I'm like, damn, I need to try this out. And I tried it out one time, did horrible. Didn't do it again for another year. Tried out again, bombed. Didn't do it again until I was 23, and I've been doing it consistently since I was like 23.
Okay.
Question. Oh shoot.
What happened?
Oh, there he is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was about to ask him a question, and he faded the black, but now he's back.
Yeah.
So, question: where are you from?
Born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, Cleveland Avenue to be exact, by way of East Point.
Oh wow! So then, how'd you end up in LA?
I did comedy in Atlanta for about a year. And I started getting into acting, but I kept getting in trouble. I was partying a lot, man. Started doing a lot of crazy stuff. Went to jail for disorderly conduct twice. After a bar, I said, fuck that. I got to get out and I want to come to the pinnacle. I've always been a person, like, even when I play sports, I want to challenge the highest competition possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, fuck that, man. I said, I've never been to LA, but spiritually, I always been connected with it because I always sit down. I could watch movies for days, and I knew entertainment was out there. You know, I was like, I tell you this, how spontaneous I am. I thought about LA on a Monday. I swear to God, I moved to LA on a Wednesday. Drove out here, I put a title pond on the way I got money. I took out a pond on my car for $327. Put a title pond out, and I used that money to drive out here. Didn't do no fucking research, so I ended up homeless for a whole year. This is true. Well, Jeremy know about this story. For a whole year and a half, I was living in my car in LA because I didn't do no research. I just drove out here on an adrenaline of dreams.
For real?
Yeah, true story.
Look, I ain't gonna. We can go back into the questions after this, but Rasheed, man, he's put me through some adventures, man. This dude is wild.
He sounds like a wild boy.
I ain't gonna snitch on him, but he know. We don't.
He's the life of the party.
I say one of the weirdest moments where, because I have to stop and reflect. I remember we danced in the parking lot of a 7-Eleven. I mean, because I'm so logical of a person, but everybody's having a good time. So I was like, F it, man. We danced in a parking lot of a 7-Eleven. I am not kidding. It was like from 2 a.m. till about 6 a.m.
6 o'clock in the morning. It was after we left the good night.
Yeah, man. That was crazy.
In Hollywood?
No, North Hollywood, Victory and Vineland. Victory and Vineland. That's 7-Eleven. We just pulled up, had a speaker going, and the cars going, and it was about a group. I say it was probably like anywhere between 5 or 8 of us, man. And the dude, first you could tell he was getting mad, but he just sat in it, and the owner.
Yeah, exactly. When you see people having too much fun, you can't stop. Like, oh shit, that shit started.
Y'all have some girls there?
Yeah, there was some girls there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a whole party in the parking lot.
A whole vibe.
Yeah, but that's one of the most somber Rasheed moments I've had. We can get way crazier from there.
So somber or sober? Or...
No, I'm saying somber. It was not sober. It was. Somber. I'm saying, like, because it get crazy fast.
Yeah. Give me a shot of Jack, and then the rest is going. You know what I mean? We're going up, baby. We're going up. Turn up.
Man, so speaking on that, man, I'm gonna give since you said that, I got a quick little story. I'm from Mississippi. We smoke meat and tell good stories. Well, I won't say we tell good stories, but we tell stories. Rest in peace to OG Seal Love. One of the Far Side's earlier bodyguards, Seal Love. Very charismatic character, but his nickname was also Crusher. He was like he could destroy a man. I mean, break him down, like leave somebody just laid out, man. He was that kind of cat. He was the sweetest dude in the world, but when he went when he went there, he like, it was no pulling back, no first gear, second gear, third gear. He was in fifth, stripping gears. So I went to this club, and we run into Seal Love, And so Seal was like, man, what's up, Smooch? What's up, man? What's up, man? I got you, man. Whatever you drinking, I got you. Don't even trip. And I started drinking in my 30s. I started drinking late, and I started with like Hennessy or whatever. So that's right. So he says, whatever you want to drink, man, I got you. Whatever you want to drink. And I'm like, nah, dude, you ain't got to do all that. So then he comes up to me, and I was like at another part of the bar, and he slid up to me with these two glasses filled with brown liquor. So then he said, here, man, I took care of you. I know what you like, man. I took care of you. So then I took one, and I was about to sip it, and I kind of went a little hard, and I'm like, damn, what's this? And then he said,
Hen dog?
Nah, Pete. So he goes, man, they do it to me every time, man. They do it. He said, man, I told them yak, and they gave me Jack.
Wow, Mississippi.
Yeah, but that was that was a pleasant moment about OG Seal love, man. Rest in peace.
Real quick before you go into the question, we got a comment because people on YouTube ask questions. Real quick, okay. They want to know what's your favorite hip hop group, hands down?
Me, hip hop group?
Yeah.
Is that? I think. Well, let me just say Outkast. I was gonna say Outkast or Goody Mob, but Outkast. Okay. Outkast number one. Okay. Outkast made it. Outkast was so futuristic. They were so far ahead of their time. Like Andre 3000, how he rapped, how he dressed. When people was calling him weird, he's like, fuck it. He stuck to his lane, man. And you had Big Boy to compliment him. He was authentically himself. So those cats, man, I seen Big Boy in the club. He was dressed like a hood dude underneath, but then he had a chinchilla coat on with a scarf around his neck. Like, bro, that's right there. That's my flavor right there. And then just how they make their music, they never compromise their voice.
Mm-hmm.
Never. Mm-hmm. They stayed authentically Southern.
Mm-hmm.
I love those guys.
Yeah.
Nah, that's dope. So when you were in high school, and we kind of going back a little bit because you sprinkled on it, but I kind of want to build up to who you are, just to kind of break it down. So when you were in high school, what did you think your path was going to be when you graduated?
NFL. I mean, I was a star athlete in high school. I was a star athlete. I was out there just. Man, I thought I was going to be in the NFL for real. I mean, I was a big safety. I was 6'2", 200-pound safety in high school. So that was my only goal. Mm-hmm. It was either that or I don't know, probably sell weed. I don't know. I didn't have any. I had no guidance to tell me. I had to take my own initiative. My mom died when I was 11. My dad just became very much just kind of. He was there, but he wasn't there mentally because he lost his best friend. So, man, it was football. And then I was cracking these jokes, and then I sell weed on the weekends to make some money.
But the funny part about it is, if you wouldn't have cracked the jokes, and if you would have stayed with the football, you sound like you had the makings of an NFL player. You know what I'm saying? You sound exactly. Like you're doing most of what the NFL players, what they've done and kind of got into.
Yeah, unfortunately, you grew up in those kind of environments, man. It was either you become that. I was, this is why I like movies. What movie was that? Boys in the Hood. Mm-hmm. I never been a hood dude. I never been in the streets. But when I watched Boys in the Hood, it was the first time I could identify with a character. I related to Cuban Gooding's Jr. Character. And what's his name? Morris Chestnut. So I was a mix of them. Like I had a father though. So I was related to them. I'm like, oh yeah. I could do good in school. I was like the good dude, but I could play football and I had a little edge, so that was me in high school. I was Ricky mixed with Trey. That was me, dog.
Yeah.
So when you started doing comedy, what kind of comedy did you gravitate towards?
Man, when I first started doing comedy, I ripped off Red Fox whole material.
That's funny.
I used to do Red Fox. I love Red Fox. So when I didn't know how to write jokes, so literally my first couple of times getting on stage, I would do Red Fox material. I didn't have a voice. I didn't know what I wanted to talk about. And I fucking bombed his material. I didn't realize it was a formula to it.
Did you do wash your ass joke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was wild.
Yeah. I did all his shit.
Oh.
And everybody was too young to know what jokes I was cracking. I was cracking jokes from the 70s to like kids that were like in a 19, 20. They was like, "What? I don't get what the fuck you talking about." I fucked up his material. I fucked his material up. But definitely Red Fox. I was doing a lot of his material. And then once I started growing, I started doing the little dick jokes when I first got to LA. But then I started to find my voice after a while. Because I remember, I forgot who it was. Oh, Jay Leno. Mm-hmm. I talked to him at the Improv for like 30 minutes, and I was just asking for advice. And he talked to me and Alex DeWong.
Oh,
like
man.
Minutes.
Whoa.
Yeah, this was like 6-7 years ago. And I was asking him, and then he was asking me my story. He's like, dude, you got a fucking whole story right there. He just kept asking me these questions where I was from and how I grew up. Like, man, you got a whole fucking story. So that's when I started talking about my upbringing and how I grew up.
That's dope that he really cared. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot of people that's just kind of like, hey, man, I see you when I see you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then it's cool when you have those seasoned actors or seasoned comedians that will reach back and just give you that thing that somebody probably gave them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
absolutely. That was a blessing. Definitely a blessing.
Acting versus comedy. Which one do you prefer? I know it's a tough one.
It is, because I love both of them equally, because both of them are performing based, and then because I write a lot of my own movies and write my own material. So, man, I don't know. I plead the fifth.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. You don't want this to get played back in the future.
Yeah,
nah, that's dope. You know, one thing that I'll take from that is that with you wanting to be a NFL caliber football player, you probably through the sport of football, you learn passion and you learn how to have passion, and you're probably equally passionate for like loving two women, like not liking two women, but loving two women. Like you're passionate about it.
And I've done that before too.
You're a wild boy.
You know, it's a big world, man.
You done lived a little bit, man. You done lived a little bit. Yeah, I'm older, but yeah, I ain't lived quite like that, but I lived. Yeah, not quite
That's
like
funny.
that. Who was the first comedian that made you say, I want to do that?
Red Fox and I think it was Eddie Murphy. Yeah, early on, Eddie Murphy and Red Fox were for me. And then I it's funny though, because I know he's polar opposite of me, but I loved Jim Gaffigan.
Okay.
Yeah, just that very weird, just observational comedy. So those three guys I started watching early on.
You know, I was probably square as a pack of cigarettes. Funny thing, I love Sanford and Son.
Oh yeah.
But when I heard the Red Fox records, I was kind of like, woo, like they gave us Sanford and Son was like the light version of him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was.
Like and when I say light, I mean the very it was even light. It was G-rated, compared to, him and his material. And it took me a while to get into it. And then when I got into it, I was kind of like, man, I got into Sanford and Son first, and then I was able to respect him as a comedian, like beyond Sanford and Son. But it really made me respect him because he was able to take his comedic genius and make it work for the TV show. But when he wasn't on the TV show, he was able to really be who he was, you know what I'm saying? Which was a total different person, you know what I'm saying? And that was kind of amazing to me.
Yeah.
Has faith played a role in your success?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I mean, faith is the reason why I'm still here on this damn planet, probably too, man. I'm more of a spiritualist. I grew up. It's a funny thing. My mother was a Muslim. My father was a Christian. So I grew up in a very kind of like unorthodox upbringing. So faith has always just brought me anywhere. I've always believed. And I think, like just what you were saying, I think growing up with dealing with so many atrocities that I grew up with, because I know by surface, a lot of people don't know what I went through. But growing up with so many of those atrocities, I know it had to be faith was the only thing that had to keep me going. Like I have an insatiable appetite to make it with anything I'm doing. Like I got a dying hunger. Like I got a drive in me sometimes that almost makes me go crazy. I'm like, I got to get it done. I got to get it done. It can happen. I'm very optimistic on everything. So I was like, even when I see something bad, like literally my slogan of every day, every time somebody asks me, for the last 10 years, they ask me how I'm doing. I say, I'm having the best day of my life.
Oh, wow.
Because as long as I woke up, I can make anything possibly happen that I want to happen. Or I could try to do it. Or I could die trying.
Wow.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah, I've had some tragedy in my life too. And I tell people that, man, I've had days that may not have gone the way I've wanted them to go, but I know what a bad day is, and I haven't had one of those in like 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Like not a bad day. It might not go exactly how you wanted or whatever, but it's kind of like in the crazy thing about it with me personally, not to make it about me, but honestly, I love the thrill of making something happen almost the same way I love the agony of defeat. You know what I'm saying? It's like because I feel like if I'm experiencing the agony of defeat, it's kind of like, okay, we need to reformulate this recipe or this formula. We need to go back and we need to rework it because there is a way to make this work. Like I don't know how to process things in a manner of them really being impossible unless it's something like, you know, teleporting or some shit like, or just something that's just like so beyond what you know what we.
When you're in a spaceship and you're talking about you don't believe in you can teleport, man. Come on, you got to believe it, dog.
Hey man, that's why I'm selling. That's why I'm selling these seats behind me, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna throw the GoFundMe up tomorrow, man. You know what I'm saying? Anybody want to take off when everything go bad, man? I got some seats for sale. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny.
Yeah, I'll take off with you, dog.
All right. So tell us about Between Forever.
Between Forever was it's a film I wrote right after I broke up with my ex-girlfriend. Well, we parted ways and stuff, and I used that to inspire me. It was actually based on a true story. Like I said, when I moved here, I was homeless, but I was always resourceful. Growing up in the hood, I knew how to use my resources. So I remember this is what I wrote the movie about. This guy, it was her birthday, and she had a little money. I didn't have any money, but I said, you know what? I know how to have a good time without her spending money on her own birthday. So I remember she wanted to go out drinking. I'm like, I know how to get us free drinks. I'm like, if I fake propose to you in this bar, people gonna shower with drinks. She's like, bullshit, did it. We would shower with drinks. They were like, oh, congratulations. And then she wanted me to drive her around. I didn't have no car. I'm like, you never rode a train before, have you? I tried to avoid every possibility. So I did everything pretty much. We had a free date, and she said she had the best birthday. So when we parted ways, I said, I did what I did best. I could express myself on paper or on a stage. So I literally wrote that script in like three or 4 days. I wrote the script and I said, you know what? I'm not going to just write it. I'm going to make it. So I made it happen. And it was about this guy. I kind of embellished the story. It's about this guy who has to turn himself into prison the next day. So he wants to get his affairs in order. So he ended up meeting this girl and they had this one-day romance. She finds out on her birthday that her husband impregnated another woman. And they kind of, this serendipitous story, they find each other and find love.
That's dope. Wow.
Yeah. All right. I think I got time to tell it. I'm going to tell it. All right. So tell a story about how I met Rasheed. I actually heard about him before I met him.
The legend.
Yeah, there's definitely a legend. So I was dating this one chick, and
this stories always go back to dating another chick too.
Yeah. So low key, but I was dating this one chick, and I remember it was pretty early on, and she had this friend. I met the friend a couple of times, and so me and her, we was like, I think it's like a Friday night. Me and her cuddled up. You know what I mean? I think I'm about to get somewhere, and next, she's like, I gotta answer this, she answered the phone and she like, girl, wait, why don't you just ask him to get out the car? What? He won't leave. And the only thing you can hear is, well, I want my gas back then. Basically, the girl was in the car with Rasheed, and she wanted him out the car because they was either coming from a movie or going to a movie.
No, he's coming from
a movie, and she said basically, they had got into it, and basically she was like, "Yo, you got to get out," and he like, "I ain't going nowhere because I put gas in your car."
Good for
which
you.
Which is a fair thing, but he was about to catch a case. So right. The girl was acting like my girl at the time was a dude and trying to threaten him.
Yeah.
Like, man, I'm gonna get my brother to come. He gonna whoop your ass. And he was like, well, he better have my $10 when he get here.
Yeah. Them last $10 mean a lot, man. I just treat you out to a movie. You ain't put me out no damn car.
Not to interrupt the story, but that's the screenplay right there, man. Y'all got material, man.
You try to write that? That's funny.
Yeah, I'm right.
Because we then I think of course, everybody run past like, this comedian, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, I don't know. But it's funny because the moment I met him, I just was like, yo, why you ain't just get out the car, man? Like he was serious. He was just like, man, it's about $10. But it's funny because those two people, they not even in our lives no more. We've been cool ever since. So
no, they not. Man, she was trying to put me out in the hood too, dog. Like man, hell no. She tried to put me out in the hood, dog. No.
Hey, I had that conversation today, man. There's nothing like a woman scorn, man. A woman scorn, man. She'll do anything. Like literally, she'll do anything.
Yeah. She wasn't scoring. She just wanted me to pay for her dinner, which she wasn't gonna get. I'm like, bro, I spent my last money on that gas. I ain't got no money to pay for no dinner.
I just remember my chick fell out with her because they was having like some sleepover or something like that over my chick's house, and the girl didn't have she had a toothbrush, but it was a real bad toothbrush. You're supposed to change a toothbrush like once every 3 months, I think it is. You know what I'm saying? This girl, she kept this must have been her favorite toothbrush. She had it for like 2 years. And my chick at the time, she was like, yo, is that your toothbrush? And the girl felt real embarrassed. And then she was just like, she's like, I got toothbrushes here if you need one. And they stopped talking after that.
That's messed up. I do remember you telling me that story too.
Yeah, she clowned her so hard. I think that's the one we call Meals anyway. So it's kind of ironic. I used to call her Meals No Wheels because she ain't had no car. Well, she had a car, I guess, but maybe she lost it. But she used to always go with dudes for the food. So
see Rasheed, he overthought the game. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't a victim. You know what I'm saying? She was a little. Yeah, she wasn't on top of it the way she probably thought she was on top of it. You know what I mean?
She didn't deserve that dinner, man. Trust me.
The way you talking, she deserved that gas. You know?
No, she did. I should have gave her $5 and kept the other $5 for me to eat.
Man, you talk about $2 gas. That's hilarious. It just was such a funny, it was such a funny thing to be like, if you kicking me out, I need my gas money back. Like, it's just such a
Well, when you're struggling, them $10 is a lot. Jeez.
Oh man.
Wait, don't I know it. What was the most amazing night that you've had that you've witnessed in comedy?
Chappelle. The first time I saw him perform, I never saw. Well, because he does what a lot of comics try to do. It sounds like a conversation, and I thought he was making the shit up until I saw him come back and do it the next day for like 2 hours.
Yeah,
and he'd be on stage for 2 hours, and the amazing thing. What was that show called? They used to have a show on Tuesdays at the Comedy Store.
Oh, Tripping on Tuesday.
Tripping on Tuesdays, but usually around around 11 o'clock, this room that seats about 300, 400 people, it started getting a little shallow. It was like, at this particular time, I think it was like maybe 30, 40 people in this room that seats 300 people at this time. Mm-hmm. And Dave Chappelle just dropped in. I promise, I think like 3 minutes into his joke, the room was packed up and standing room only. Mm-hmm. Never saw shit like that in my life. Mm-hmm. Every comic, I don't know where these people came from. just packed out, man. It was spectacular to see him work out the material.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah. Let's see. Have you ever been scammed before?
Oh, absolutely. By some Nigerians when I was in college. I was desperate for money, and they sent me a check. Like, hey, if you cash this check,
real quick, Rasheed. So this is what we refer to as a monkey hustle chronicle. You know what I'm saying? And it was inspired by someone that we know who had kind of gotten scammed in the last 6 months, and then that kind of brought on the need for us to talk about the craziest scam that we saw happen, as well as the scams that have happened to us. So it's kind of like a two-part question. So one, you could say we want to hear the story of you getting scammed, but we also want to hear the craziest story that you've heard of somebody getting scammed.
Okay. I was 19 years old. Never forget it. I was going to college in Jacksonville State University, and I'm super broke at this time, and I get this random email that, hey, we saw. I forgot how they phrased it, but they phrased it when you're naive and you're broke and desperate. It's like, hey, we're gonna send you a check. Just send us you keep the rest. You just send us the rest back. I put it in my damn account. Just get the money back out. I sent them some money, and I kept the rest. And then I go to my account. It's in a negative $1,000. I'm like, what the fuck? And I went to the bank. They said it was a bad check, a fraudulent check. I'm like, oh shit. And my dad broke down to me to hustle. He's like, oh yeah, you got hustled, dog.
Oh.
You got scammed, man. So yeah, spent years trying to get that shit off my account because I didn't have no money. So I didn't have a bank account for a while.
That was a monkey hustle chronicle. You qualified. And what would be the craziest thing that you heard somebody get scammed on?
The worst one? Oh, probably the actor a couple of years ago who the white actor who called himself a fake producer, and he went out to all these different executives. It happened in Hollywood, and he got all of them to invest like millions of dollars, but he decided this movie deal that he had never existed. And what happened, he went on all these lavish trips and bought all these fancy, luxurious cars, and come to find out that all these people were scammed out their money. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, it was a guy that never done any movies, produced any movies, but y'all gave him millions of dollars to invest on a movie deal that you guys didn't even verify. And next thing you know, he's driving Rolls Royces. You could Google it.
That sounds like a lot of people right now, man. And did he got busted?
Oh yeah, he did. That's how I heard about the stories in the news.
Oh wow.
What's the difference between him and any chick with an Instagram following? They be getting all that money and they don't do nothing but take pictures of themselves. I don't get it.
Man,
anyway, that's a scam.
I still ain't figured it out, man. There's some women out here making some cold money off just pictures.
Cold hard cash off of pictures with Venmo.
Yeah. So I know a girl get paid for feet pictures, dog. Like a guy pays her like $400 just to get her feet tickled. I'm not making that shit up. I'm like, man,
amazing.
Bro, I thought about doing that shit. I was like, man, let me get my feet done. Somebody tickle my feet for $400, dog. Good ass hustle.
Hell no.
Hey. So your top 3 favorite comedians, dead or alive?
Dead or alive. Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Chappelle.
That's a pretty solid lineup.
Yeah. It used to be Chris Rock was my number one, but it kind of switched, it's interchangeable.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There's so many out there, man. So many out there. Jerry Seinfeld's a piece.
Oh, yeah.
The Cosby, as much as he's one of the greatest storytellers of all time.
Yeah, man, they need to get that dude. I already know what's gonna happen. He gonna die, and everybody gonna act like that's their guy. But right now it's quiet. So
yeah,
but yeah, no, he's definitely like I give it to him over Richard. I know a lot of people. I know it's controversial, but people put him in this clean category where I'm like, he was still talking shit. I mean, he wasn't just like some wholesome there's niggas that be tap dancing. He wasn't a tap dancer. But it's all good. Like I said, you'll see. Mark my word. As soon as that man had one heart palpitation, everybody gonna be like, "Oh man, he's my favorite. Oh, I never lost faith in him." But that's all it takes.
You know what he was guilty of? Not getting into no.
What he did this time.
Nah, I wasn't gonna say that. We wasn't there to witness it. It would have all been hearsay. I won't say that. What he was guilty of is making so much money, he felt he could talk down to Black people instead of to Black people. That's what he was guilty of, because he came from humble beginnings. He wasn't born with a spoon in his mouth and anything, but I've seen it happen with artists, with musical artists. I've seen it happen with actors. I haven't known any comedians too much to know them like that, but definitely with actors and with musical artists, once they get embraced by opportunity coupled with like financial rewards, they start to kind of look down at who they used to be or the people that they used to be. Like they look down at that. And so when they do that, they're feeling all brand new with the brand new money, the brand new opportunity, the brand new circle of friends, the brand new experiences, everything. So they feel like they need to go back to whoever their people are and kind of tell them, like, you need to do this and don't do this and don't do that or whatever, instead of giving a pathway, giving some teaching, giving some mentoring and all that. And so with Bill Cosby, when him coming, up the way he came and him trying to talk at Black people instead of to Black people, they just waited for him because like we spoke earlier, man, we the most forgiving people in the world. But dude, when you cross us, we just wait for the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We wait for that opportunity. Aha! You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what happened. Real quick, we got a question. We got a couple questions from the well, I'm gonna say this part first and then we're gonna go into the question. Somebody said, don't know if it was a joke, but this woman was selling her farts in a jar for $1,000. So it's a reality show on TLC.
I believe it.
That's wild. Man. But speaking of selling farts in a jar, somebody asked, would you move back to Atlanta?
Once I get my foot hard in the door where I wanted to, I definitely would be probably bi-coastal. But I love LA, man. I love Atlanta. Home is where the heart at too. So I think I'm gonna probably end up I'll be at both places though, if God willing.
And what's your top 3 favorite rappers?
Oh, Jay-Z, number 1, hands down. Not just my favorite, but GOAT. Number 2, Young Jeezy. Young Jeezy, and it's so funny. People are like, you like? Oh, yeah, I like Young Jeezy. His voice, his delivery. I like the scruff in his voice, man. Like you really feel like you hustle when you hear his voice. Like, damn, I didn't sell crack, but it felt like when you hear his voice.
They ain't got no L's together, man. Every song they on together go hard.
That's true. That's very true. That's very true. Like it's like two of my favorite rappers. Every time they always make hitters. My third one is actually kind of new. It used to be somebody else, but I like Little Baby, man. I like Little Baby. Like I think they try to lump him in with a lot of newer age rappers, call him a mumble, but he's actually a great lyricist. If you really kind of if you take away that beat and read what he's saying, I'm like, oh shit, he's pretty talented. I like what's his name too? I like Tyler the Creator.
Oh yeah, I like him too. Yeah,
he's dope.
I'll say I'll give it up to Little Baby and the Baby. I could say the Baby. I haven't listened to either of their lyrics, but man, your boy Jeremy, he was the one that put me on to the Baby.
Who?
The stylist.
I got Go in 5
with the okay. With the braids. Your homeboy. His name.
We had a lot of guests.
No, your homeboy. His name is De something.
Oh, DeLeon.
DeLeon. Yeah. And I was like, dang, the baby be busted. The baby be busted.
Oh yeah. He's my swag coach. Without him, I don't have no swag.
So, who would your dream versus be?
Jay-Z versus. No. You know what? Who could I don't know anybody to put against Jay-Z. I would say Nas. Nas is equally good lyricist, but he don't have that many hits.
But he got one song that'll blow. Jay-Z gonna have to.
I already know you better go to the. But that's not even a record either. That's a diss track. I know where you're going.
just play the instrumental. Jay-Z, he gonna have to take a break, take a bathroom break.
My dream versus she's that's hard. Well, can I go singers?
Yep.
I would go Sam Cooke versus Otis Redding.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Who you got?
So being that
Sam Cooke.
Sam Cooke, okay.
I take Sam Cooke. Yeah. Sam Cooke got bangers, dog. He got bangers. And Sam Cooke was like the Jay-Z of rap before Jay-Z. He had his own studio, own labels. He was pushing music. He would collaborate with other different artists. He was signing artists. Man, Sam Cooke got bangers. And he had that smile, too. Sam Cooke could say, he was like, oh, shit, what he better do, man? Oh, change gonna come. That's my favorite song of all time. Change is gonna come. Like rap, country, whatever music I listen to, Change is gonna come is my favorite song of all time.
That's fine.
All right. Being that you got a break, I'm gonna wrap it up with the last question. Where do you see social interaction going in the next 2 years?
I'm an optimist. I think people love people. Quarantine made people realize how much we need people. I think we're going to revert back to socializing. I do think there's going to be a lot of different modifications on how we interact, which we already do, like via Zoom. But I think it's going to be a boom, man. I think we're going to see like United Nations throwing like parties and shit. I just see people. I don't know. Man, we live in such a weird time. It's hard. I'm such a social butterfly. I love people, man. So I see people going in the same direction as I. We're gonna party. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna laugh. We're gonna make some great entertainment for people. We're gonna make some great changes for people. I see it going upward.
All right,
it's going up, baby. It's going up.
No, man. You got anything you want to shout out? You want to give your socials?
Damn, I'm horrible at social media. My social media, my Instagram is Stevens Rasheed _ So it's STEPHENS RASHEED and _ Just shout out to you guys for giving me this chance and this platform. God bless you guys. God bless anybody that's listening out there. And hopefully somebody got inspired by something or somebody got a smile by something. So I say continue having the best day of your life, man, and God bless.
Well, I like to advocate you and Jeremy getting together. And man, y'all gotta turn that into something, man. That was something, man.
That's funny.
Well, we're collaboration been waiting to happen for a while. We're gonna make something happen for sure.
Yeah,
I'm not just talking. It's not just hyperbole, dog. It's just like really, we're gonna make some shit happen.
Yeah, that was part of the reason why I brought you on because I didn't want to pump fake. We just talked about it the other day. So
yeah, you did. You followed through the next day. So that's what I'm saying. We definitely got to make something happen. In the next 5 months, I say we put something down and create something foundational because I got some stuff coming up and I know you do too. So I know I want to make sure we make that collaboration happen.
Let's do it
real quick. And you, Jeremy, you got anything you want to shout out? Any dates coming up?
Tomorrow I'm at the La Jolla Comedy Store, and then Saturday I'm at West Palm Springs, Coachella, some casino in Coachella with Theo Von.
Nice.
That's a big.
I can't wait till I'm doing big shows like that, man.
Oh, stop!
It's coming, baby. It's coming, baby.
Come with me.
I'm definitely down. Don't tease me with a good time.
I want to thank you, Rasheed, man. I appreciate you giving us the time, man. You know what I'm saying? It was a great conversation.
Man, thank you for your time, man. Thank you, dog. Appreciate it, Brett.
Yep.
Hey, fly off somewhere, baby. I
Yes,
see y'all.
sir. I'm about to gas her up and break, and you'll see that GoFundMe tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So feel free to donate. You know what I'm saying? If you want to seat to Mars, you know what I'm saying?
Hey man, I got $2 on it. I got $2 on it, baby.
That's right.
$2 on it, baby.
And that's it's
I'll
Splendid.
get my $10 back from that girl. Tell her to put $10 in that shit.
Yo, I wonder where
Get
she
my
at right now.
Give my $10 back for her and tell her to get you that goddamn gas money, dog.
Recycling your change. That's tight.
Absolutely.
Oh, that was funny.
You deserve it.
All right, man.
All right.
Thank you guys. Peace.
All right.
Thank you. God bless.